Hello, kindergartners. It's time for our science magazine today. We didn't get to it yesterday, so we're going to do our science magazine Look at Reptiles today. Before we begin, would you please take out your kindergarten red, your first grade orange. We have one second grade word today, and then we need purple punctuation and black labeling line. Would you please take out these 5 markers or crayons? And then we are ready to get started. Okay, looking at the cover of our science magazine, it is a My Weekly Reader. The issue is called Look at Reptiles. Look at Reptiles. Down at the very bottom, it has a little note. So there's some words, and it is telling us a note about reptiles. It says, some animals are reptiles. Lizards are reptiles that usually have legs and a tail. This lizard is a gecko. It has special pads on its toes to help it hold on to things when it walks. It can even walk on ceilings. Wow. This lizard eats insects. Why might some people like to have this lizard visit their home? Thinking to yourself, why might some people like to have this lizard visit their home? Besides the fact that it's super cool because it can walk on the ceiling. Whoa. What are some of your ideas? Listen, whisper, tell somebody your ideas. Right. Tell me, what are some of your ideas? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Geckos like to eat insects, so they'd be a really good thing, or a really good animal, or lizard, or reptile, to have at home because it eats the insects for you. Okay, I am seeing a kindergarten word up here. We're not going to underline down here. This was just a good note to hear about lizards and reptiles. Looking at the title, I see a kindergarten word and I see a first grade word. Tell me, what's the kindergarten word that you see? Right, at. And what's the first grade word that you see? Look, right. Okay, so let's take out our kindergarten red and underline at. We know at is a kindergarten word. At. And then orange for our first grade word. Orange and red. We also have a purple punctuation on there. Purple punctuation. Is it a purple period? No, purple exclamation point, you got it. Okay, black labeling line. Our big idea for this whole magazine is reptiles. So underlining the word reptiles and pointing to our gecko friend here. Okay, and the other word I was thinking would be a good word for us to write is the word pattern. Because you can see on a lot of different lizards and reptiles, they have a type of colored pattern on their bodies. They use this to have a sort of camouflage or something to blend in with their surroundings so they don't get hurt or eaten by another animal. So camouflage is important for many different kinds of reptiles and lizards. And it's also really beautiful coloring. Okay, so pattern, I'm going to write on the gecko because if I write here, you're not going to be able to see my black labeling line. So I'm going to write just kind of up here. So pattern starts with a P, right? A, hearing that vowel, the short vowel sound. At, T. And the word pattern also has another T. So P-A-T-T, pat, 2 T's, pat, R, pattern, N, you got it, pattern. And then you can just point to wherever on the gecko that you would like that you see a pattern. Okay, turning to the inside. Oh, my pattern went through my magazine. I'm going to fold this so you can see it easier. Looking at the inside title, it says, "What are reptiles like?" I guess we're going to find out. Most kinds of reptiles live on land. Some live in water. Okay, I'm seeing some kindergarten words. Looking in both the bigger title and the smaller title underneath. Kindergarten words. Okay. Did you also find 3? Right. Our first one is like, on, and in. Okay, I'm also seeing some first grade words. So first grade orange. The very first two, or I guess the first 2 words in our larger title are first grade words. Do you remember what the first word was? What is a first grade word? So we need to underline the word what. The second word, it's not the letter. What word is this? R, right. What are reptiles like? Looking down at the smaller title, we see that 2-letter word we've started to see a little bit more of recently. 2 letters, starts with an O. Do you see it? Right, what word is that? Of, you got it. Of, it's in the first line. And then looking in the second line, there's a first grade word we've seen before. Starts with an S, has that silent E at the end. Do you remember what word that is? Sum, right. Not sum like a math sum when we have 2 addends and we add them together to find the sum. This is a different spelling in a different way, a different meaning behind this word. Some live in the water. So underlining some. And our last word in our smaller title, we know this word, we've seen it a lot in our science magazines. Starts with a W. Water, right. We've seen water a lot in our magazines. Okay, purple punctuation. I am seeing 3 purple punctuations. What's the first one? Right, purple question mark, and then 2 purple periods. Okay, looking at the first picture and the first text box, it's the one that has this little tiny reptile in the picture. We're looking at this one first. It says, a baby alligator is a reptile that hatches from an egg. Kindergarten read. Seeing a few kindergarten words. Did you also find 4 kindergarten words? Right, let's read them together. A is, a, and, right. Okay, there are some first grade words. I see 2 that we've seen a couple of times. The first one is a the word. The. We hear that the phoneme at the beginning. That, right. We've seen that word before. Underlining that. And the next word is in our second sentence, our second line, and it starts with an F. Do you see that word? From, right. From. Underlining from. And then we're ready for a purple punctuation. From. Okay, purple punctuation. Only see one. Purple punctuation. Okay, our second picture that we're looking at is this one here in the middle of our magazine. It has a, ooh, what kind of reptile is in this picture? Right, a snake. Let's find out about our snake. A snake is a reptile that has scaly skin and no legs. So no arms or legs, just a scaly body. Okay, kindergarten red. Oh, yeah, we'll do that and then we'll come back. I forgot about my black labeling line. So we'll come back to that after we do our underlining. Finding those kindergarten words. I thought that first one went by really quick. It's because I didn't do my black labeling line. All right. Found one, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 kindergarten words. Let's read them together. A is, a, and no. Okay, there's a couple of first grade words. The first one we just did in the last text box that we saw, or like the last text underneath the baby alligator picture. It's the word that has the phoneme at the beginning. Do you remember what that word is? Looking at our science magazine. That, right. Okay, finding the word that, underlining that. Okay, and the next word that is a first grade word is the word right after the word that. Starts with an H. Do you know that word? Do you recognize that word from when we've seen it before? Right, has. As. Has. Right after that. Okay, purple punctuation. And then we'll go back to the first picture and do our black labeling line. See one purple punctuation? Ooh, the same as this picture. These both have one purple period. Okay, going back to our baby alligator, let's underline the word egg. Egg is the main idea in this picture because we're learning that reptiles, specifically alligators, hatch from eggs. So underlining the word egg. Labeling line to one of the eggs. And the other word that I'm going to write right up here in this area is the word claws. Claws. You can see here, this baby alligator has claws, and that helps them get out of the egg. They can use their claws once they sometimes they use their snout to poke a hole into the egg, and then they can claw their way out. It depends on the baby, but I think that like a baby duck, they also use the tip of their bill to get out, to break the egg and then get out first. So I'm gonna write right up here the word claws. What two letters make the k sound? Right, C and a K. We're going to be writing the letter C. Claws starts with C. And we're writing claws, not claw, because there's more than one claw. K, L, L. K-l. Ah. What vowel has the ah sound? Ah as in apple. A, you got it. Or I guess ah as in apple wouldn't work because that's ah. Ah. It's a word that starts with ah. Orangutan. Orangutan. Okay. Claw. And then we need a, you can decide which claw. I'm gonna pick one of the claws. You could just point to the hand. Oh, we need our S. Claws. S. Because we were just talking about how there's more than one claws. There's more than one claw, so it makes it claws. So black labeling line, you decide which claw that it goes to. Or you can just point to the hand. Okay, keeping our black labeling line out, we're gonna do our black labeling line for this picture. Underlining the word, let's do underline 2 words, scaly skin. Because the main idea of this picture is that snakes have scaly skin and no legs. So we'll underline scaly skin. You gotta pick one. Scaly skin, pointing to a part of the snake that has scaly skin. Okay, and then the word we are going to write today is the word slide, because snakes slide on their belly because they do not have any arms or legs. So the word slide, S, I'm gonna write in the top corner. L, you got it. I, hearing that long vowel sound. I. D. And the word that we wrote right now is the word solid. How would we make this make the sound slide? We need one more letter at the end. An E, right. That E at the end, the silent E, makes the I become a long vowel I. Solid instead of solid. So putting an E at the end. And then you can point to wherever on the snake, because on his belly somewhere, or her. Because they slide on their belly. Okay, next picture up here. What animal do we see in that picture? Right, a turtle. Okay, let's read about our turtle. I'm gonna fold this so it's easier to see. A turtle is a reptile that has a shell on its body. A turtle is a reptile that has a shell on its body. Okay, kindergarten words. Kindergarten red. Ooh, I'm seeing a lot of one letter, or one word. Oh, this one also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kindergarten words. Let's read them together. A is a on. There's a lot of A's in this sentence. Okay, kindergarten, or first grade orange, we see that word that we've been underlining in the last 2. So we're seeing a pattern. What was that word again? This word right here? That. First grade orange. And then the word right after it, we underlined in the last picture too. Yep, has. That has. A turtle is a reptile that has a shell on its body. Okay, then purple punctuation. Oh, this one also has a 1 purple period, so another pattern. Okay, bringing out that last, doing black for our black labeling line. Underlining the word shell. Main idea of our picture is that turtles have shells. Pointing to our turtle shell. And then I would like you to decide another labeling line that can be added to our picture. So you're finding the other labeling line. And then looking at our last one, I'm going to have you underline the kindergarten and first grade words, finding those 2 black labeling lines. But before we do that, let me read. A grown-up alligator is a large reptile that has sharp teeth and a strong tail. So finding those kindergarten words, finding those orange first grade words, purple punctuation, and our 2 black labeling lines. Finding one here, finishing this picture. And then looking back here, I told you to get out your 2nd grade yellow, and I looked right over my word that's a 2nd grade yellow. It's this word right here. Do you recognize this word? Have you seen this word before? It's the word most. Most. This is a 2nd grade word, and it's a good word to know. It's a word that's used a lot. So let's underline the word most so you can start recognizing that word when you are reading. Most. Okay. At the bottom, we see this little blurb or this little bit of wording or text down at the bottom. It's at the bottom already. You know, it's at the bottom. It says, think and discuss. The skin of a baby alligator has colored marks on it. How is the skin of a grown-up alligator different from the skin of the baby? How are you different now from the way you were as a baby? Oh, so comparing the skin of the baby alligator to the adult alligator. So, I am going to have these 2 questions be our questions for our magazine response today. So let me repeat them, and I want you to write down some ideas that you have about what this question is asking. It says, the skin of a baby alligator has colored marks on it. How is the skin of a grown-up alligator different from the skin of a baby alligator? So using your observations and what we learned about in our text, using our observations, our eyes, to see the pictures and look for the differences that we see. This baby alligator will one day become this giant alligator. So seeing, what's the difference when it was first born to when it is full grown? So that's the first question. The second question, it says, how are you different now from the way you were as a baby? So writing a couple of things, you can write 2 to 5 things that you're noticing about these 2 alligators, how they are different, the baby from the adult, and then 2 to 5 ideas. 2 is the minimum, so you need to write at least 2, and then 5 if you want more of a challenge. So writing 2 to 5 things about the difference you see between these 2, and then 2 to 5 things that you think about that are different between you and a baby, or how you were as a baby, or how you could even think about how you were as a baby different from how your mom and dad are. Just thinking about differences from a baby to a grown-up. Okay, everyone? And quickly on the back, if you would like to do the activity on the back, it says, what did you learn about reptiles? Draw a line from the picture of the reptile to the left column. The left column is over here. To the correct fact, left column is over here, and then to the correct fact in the right column. So this is important for thinking back on our magazine, what we read about, and finding matches. So looking in the left-hand column at the pictures of the animals, and then drawing a line to the fact that matches that animal that we learned about in the magazine. Okay, everyone, nice work today. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I know we couldn't get to our science magazine yesterday, but I'm glad that we were able to get to it today. Have a fabulous weekend if this is your last video with me, and if not, I'll see you in a little bit. Bye, everyone.